Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Knock On podcast. Another early morning one, but that's how we do it. It's going to be an awesome day out. It's going to be one of the first good mornings in a long time here in Iowa. So I'm going to do this podcast. I'm going to get my buddy Justin to the airport, and I'm going to do a little bit of shooting, and I'm going to try to go maybe chase a bird around the woods. But yeah, this has been a big week. I've got a bunch of Q&As here I want to get to. Um, but first, I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of an update here. The website launch went really well, and YouTube now has a copy of that live feed. I downloaded it. I also downloaded one of the video podcasts that we did with Bailey Smith and Lucy O'Sullivan, so you'll be able to see that too if you go to the Nock On Archery YouTube channel. And yeah, yesterday was a busy day. Did 3 bow builds yesterday. Did 1 bow build for myself. Actually, I kind of wanted to pick what type of bow I was going to use for my bear hunt, and also for an axis deer hunt, and then a Florida hog hunt. That's all kind of coming up over the next several months. And I decided to go with the new Easton Axis 6mm with 50 grains of brass. I was actually torn between the brass insert and a standard insert because both of them shot really well. And I posted a picture on the Instagram account pretty much showing you guys exactly what my difference is between those two. And I also filmed a clip specifically for the new website. So once that new website launches, which is supposed to be tomorrow at 7, you're going to have access to the beta. There'll be content continually being loaded into that. There's going to be a short stretch there where I'm not going to be able to do any type of podcast if I'm out of cell coverage, but that will be coming for sure. But yeah, I decided to go with the 6mm with the 50 grain brass, although the standard insert on this particular arrow was definitely a big contender. It had about 10 inches difference at 80 yards in height, so it did have better speed. And one thing that I noticed, and several of you noticed too, was it actually, penetration wise, wasn't that different. But overall, I mean, my arrows are really heavy too because of the length. So, a lot of times with me, that little 25 grain difference up in the point between a standard insert and the brass doesn't show up as much as what people are expecting. So that was one bow that I built. Built it with an elevate rest, standard elevate rest, not the freak. And it was on a Pro Defiant 34. I got set at about 74 pounds. But one thing that's going to be really cool about this new website is as I build bows for myself, I'll be able to load each of those builds directly into my profile, and my personal profile is going to be visible to everybody there. So you'll be able to go in, look at exactly what bow I build for myself and all that stuff. And I'm sure people like Rogan and other people like that. My buddy Eric Greiba, a hockey player. Jim Miller. I'm sure all the guys like that, Mendez. I'm sure they're gonna come in there as well and be able to create their profiles and have their pictures and stuff like that. And you guys are going to be able to have access to see that, which is going to be cool. So then the other bow that I built was for my buddy Justin, who helped with the podcast, with the website. And Justin had a Prevail 37 and wanted to change that bow from indoor archery over to a field archery bow. So I pretty much took that bow and some of the things are great. Strings and cables were still obviously fine. His peep height was where he wanted it to be. We changed his aiming sight just a little bit. I put a smaller dot in the scope so that he was able to see a little bit more of the target, and pretty much put one of the dots in there that allowed us on the NFAA faces to be the same size as the bullseye once he was at each of the distances based on the different target shapes. That's what I always found I really, really liked. I like to be able to, if I'm shooting on a field face, I want to be able to cover the majority of the bullseye. I want to be able to see just a slight halo around my aiming dot, which is what I prefer. I like to be able to see a little bit around the edge, but I don't like to be able to see a lot of it. I've just found on Vegas faces and things like that, if my dot is too small, I find myself, almost trying to aim a little bit too hard in there. So it works well for field archery. However, yesterday during the live feed I did for a lot of the people on Instagram, it was a little bit hard shooting 3D targets when you're covering the whole 10 ring, and you're trying to pick out 12s. If you're the type of archer, especially if you're always shooting for center 11s, like if you're not shooting lower ASA 12s, then being able to cover the entire 10 ring is actually a really good way to just put things in the center. It's no different than really aiming at the center on a Vegas face. So, yeah, that was a really good build. I ended up going with 470 Pro Tours with that bow, and I had tried 420s, tried some 470s. 470s definitely reacted a lot better. Now with that bow, decided to go with, we kept his freak bar elevate rest on there, and I've got it back all the way. The one thing on those freak bars, and I want to make sure I tell everybody this, with that freak bar in the packet, there's a little bitty square bracket that actually slides on the back side, on the underside of your extension bar, and then there's a screw that goes in that, and it's more or less, it's like a compression piece. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to slide that compression piece all the way up against, as far forward as you can to the regular the regular screw that you tighten down. And you'll want to make sure that you tighten both those things pretty aggressively, because with that bar being that far extended back, especially with a Hoyt for me, because with a Hoyt you have to come behind the tech riser, and when you go behind the tech riser with that, you're pretty much on the very, very end of it extension wise. So you'll want to really crush down on that arrow rest bolt, make sure that it won't move. But with Justin, we decided to actually go with the fall away or the limb driven style setup. So he's got the limb drive, and he's literally using the whale tail that comes with it. And he's had a great bow for indoor. He wanted his second one, and I kind of just told him that bow is shooting so well, let's just get it rolling for a field. And with those 470 Pro Tours with 120 grain stainless steel points, worked really well. And I tried the tungsten points. The tungsten points are a little bit shorter. The stainless steel points are longer, and how the length of those will affect the FOC, and it also affects the spine. All of that stuff is relative to how arrows respond, and although on that particular setup stainless steel points are much cheaper than tungsten points, they did group better. So in that case, he was able to, save some money, and he actually had the best setup. So just because there's a tungsten point out there that's, much more expensive than the stainless point, that doesn't mean that's what's going to shoot the absolute best for you. And I've had that in the past too. Here I was at big tournaments, and I'm an Easton Pro, and I was shooting the stainless steel points in my X10s while everyone else is out shooting tungsten. And people are like, dude, why can't would they not give you any tungsten points? And the truth is, yeah, they will, but they didn't shoot as good. But then again, on other setups, the tungstens actually shot the best. So make sure you try both. It's really, really important. I'm going to have to take a few little coffee breaks here because obviously you hear I'm a little bit hoarse. I've been averaging probably 4 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep at the most. And I'm starting to wear on me. Turkey season's tough. I'm just looking at some of the people that are watching Instagram Live right now for the podcast, giving them a wave. They're writing me a lot of messages, but I can't really read them while I'm podcasting. Otherwise, my ADD is going to take over, and I'll probably just forget that I'm podcasting and start talking to everyone on the screen. But so the third bow that I built was actually Joe Rogan's, and with Rogan, I'm building a bow that I'm going to nickname the Miley Cyrus because it is going to come in like a wrecking ball. I've got him on an 86 pound, let's see, he's got 86 pound Pro Defiant 31, and I've just built him some Easton Axis Dangerous Games right here, and these babies are fully loaded with 75 grains of brass, 100 grain Rage Trypan, Nocturnal Nock. He's shooting, he wanted the same max vanes that he's been shooting on his other ones, so he's got the max stealth vanes. And this arrow right here is just the shaft itself on these babies is over 15.5 grains per inch, and this thing weighed in at, I'm trying to remember, I think it weighed in at about 650 grains, something like that. But this thing literally has to be shot into a target that has some fresh foam. Otherwise, you're going to be looking for another arrow. They fly really well, and I'm looking forward to finishing this build today. Yesterday I did some shooting. I actually worked on cutting on the lengths of this arrow. I started out with it just a little bit long, and I had it longer, and I shot it. I wanted to have as heavy of an arrow as I could build for him, so I kept it long, shot it, and it shot okay. But once I let a little bit of poundage off his bow, the arrow actually shot better. So for me, I automatically knew that the arrow was kind of a little bit on the weak side for that particular bow that he was shooting at that heavy poundage. So what I did was I went in and I cut 1.5 inches off that shaft, and when I cut that 1.5 inches off the shaft, it did bring that weight down about 15. Well, it brought the weight down. Let's see. Well, I guess it would have brought it down about 22 grains. Once I brought that or cut that off, I went ahead and tightened that bow back up, his poundage, and shot that thing, and they were flying awesome. So another thing that's pretty cool about this, so I guess the finish weight on this arrow now is about 22 grains lighter than the very first one that I shot, and I had sent him a picture of that. He's actually gonna like this shaft. It's got a little graphics of a buffalo, a grizzly bear, and a warthog or something on the shaft. So it's definitely gonna be his kind of arrow. And then yesterday I was doing a little bit of shooting in the backyard with all those bows really, and it's really fun. I actually got these stickers that I've been sticking on the 12 rings of my 3D targets, and it's really helping me. They're white stickers. I'm a big believer in learning to aim on contrast. I really like brown on black. I like black on white. I really like contrast. And I think that it really helps you learn, especially on the all black 3D targets. This is a good tip for you. A lot of times when you have to learn where that 12 ring is on those all black 3D targets, being able to practice a lot on a target where you're continually being able to imprint in your brain where that 12 ring is visually, that's really important for your ability to pull back on a target in a completely shaded and silhouetted situation and be able to make that shot and know exactly where to aim when you're the first person stepping up to the stake. Because a lot of times at 3D shoots, you're always going to count on, if you're shooting 20 targets and there's 4 people in your group, you're shooting 5 targets first, right? You're going to be the lead off guy. And if you get up in there and you got a dark situation, especially on those Sunday mornings or Saturday mornings shoots where it's still dark inside that timber, not so much these first few months, but once we get into the summer and that foliage is growing, you start to get some of those targets that are really dark, and learning where that is pretty important. And one of the elements that I'm really excited about, there's a couple elements that I'm really excited about with the new website, because there's a lot of things that are included now that weren't included in the past, and really the members that are coming in, those members are the ones that are going to be able to watch some of these new videos. But the one series I really like is the shot of the week, and these are going to be weekly shots that are going to be either on competition targets or they're going to be on field targets. I'm waiting for the right weather so that I can travel to the right field target or field course to shoot. I'm going to be doing some filming, and actually I got to remember, I'm going to write something down here so I don't forget to say, but as I step up to these stakes, I literally pretend that I can't just talk to myself in my brain. I have to talk out loud. So this is kind of a really cool concept, because I just sit there and tell you all these things for every target that's clicking through my head. And this is going to be really important for people out there that are going to 3D target or to going through really any shoot for their very first time. Now the 3D ones that I did, I think are going to be really accepted by a lot of you out there, because I step up to the target, immediately talk about things that are going through my head, what my feet are saying to me, what my feet are talking about, what my bow arm's talking about in regards to wind. Obviously, I talk about what my eyes are seeing, different things that I'm looking at for judging, how to judge that target, when targets are deceptive and there's swells or there's contours of the ground, or small targets that are by a big tree. I had a couple shots where the slope was a pretty good slope. There's a really cool crosswind coming down through this valley really hard, so I was able to talk to you about how to read the wind. But one of the shots was a bighorn, and it was the target was slightly leaning towards me, which I talk about. And when it did that, it created a really dark shade underneath that target, so you really weren't able to see very much. There was really only a few things on that scoring on the target itself that I could spot out, which were kind of critical to why I judged the target for what I did judge the target for. And then I just talk about, I actually did all of my 3D shots were on a very windy day. And this is what's pretty cool about it too is I did all this on a brand new course. So literally these arrows are the first arrows that ever hit the target. So you're kind of able to see a no bullshit shots. And I'm going to show my good ones just as much as I show my bad ones, but I also talk about strategy, ones that I would, if it was a tournament situation, one that I would aim for, go for the 12, ones that I wouldn't and why, also where I would aim specifically. But, above all that, you really have to be able to know on those targets where to aim, and by practicing on those small little stickers, that really, really helps you out. I just want to talk quick here. I guess I did want to mention pricing levels to the new website. This is the one thing that I didn't want to get into. I didn't want to spend a lot of time during the very first live feed talking about that, so to speak. So, I guess I was going to save that, and you'll be able to see those tomorrow once it's live. But for this podcast, I'm going to go ahead and mention it. And I'm probably not doing myself a favor by not having what all those different levels are. Let me see if I can actually find that written down, and then I'll just be able to talk with you all about that. So really the levels, and I want to make sure for those of you who did not watch the live feed, I want to really make it clear that the aspects of Nock On that now are still going to be available for free. You're going to be able to get older information as I pass it down. In the past, what you guys don't realize is a lot of the information that I've fed down, obviously, like with the TV show, when the network was completely done with that footage, I was able to utilize that footage again for the website. So that's why sometimes it took a full year or whatever before it came. Same with articles. Anytime I write articles for people, I wait a full year before those articles roll out to the public. I wait for them to go to press, and it already be out on stands, and then I'll put not their version but my original uncut version out for you all to read. And actually, article wise, I've held a lot of those up, so there's going to be a lot of new articles for you guys to read once you go to the website. And then hopefully by next fall, all of the articles and things will be translated into 3 different languages, which is going to be really, really cool as well. So you're going to get all the historical stuff that you've seen. You're going to be able to see, you'll be able to play podcasts, audio files of the podcasts. You'll be able to see different product reviews that are done, especially when I do stuff that's just live to the public. And then also the people that are there for free on the bronze level are going to get, they're going to get to see, the frequently asked questions. And then after, probably about 12 months of being on the upper level platforms, the content will roll down. So new content, newer articles would kind of funnel down after that first year. But also, you're going to be able to have just a the basic ability to input. There's a profile page that's really, really cool. That's going to allow shooters to literally communicate. We're going to have almost our own social network within this website, which is cool. And I'm not doing a good job. Like I said, it took us an hour live to talk about all this. So if you want to see it, you need to go to the Nock On Archery YouTube channel and look for that live unveiling. But that's going to be a free level. And also 10% of podcast questions are going to come from the free level people. So people that are on there for free, I'm going to do my best to answer some of your questions as I have historically. However, there's so many questions coming in. Like this morning I woke up and just my Twitter account, which I don't even use, the Twitter account messaged me that there was 283 messages waiting in my inbox. So, I have to be able to filter out who takes priority here. And obviously, no different than with my coaching. If I'm coaching, that person or those people get priority, and that's just how it boils down to really anything in life. So the first paid subscription level is going to be the silver level. That's the entry level. You're going to have access to everything, obviously, that level 1 would have. But you're also going to be able to start viewing current hunts. Each month, I'm actually gonna edit a hunt. So, I'll probably here in the next few weeks put one new hunt in there for you all to look at on the beta version. But then, there's also going to be voting to what hunt I actually edit for the June episode. But with the silver person, you're gonna be able to also view non-sponsored products. So you'll be able to product reviews. So, for example, if someone wants to see, a true ball release, I'll buy one and I'll use one and I'll give you what my feelings are on it. So you'll be able to see those when I decide to do them. You also have access to all new articles as they're released. And then you're going to have access to a new fitness posts. I'm going to do bi-weekly fitness posts or videos. So I've got a lot of videos with people that are specific to archery. I'm going to utilize some professionals that I have and do some videos at the On It Academy coming up here. And then you're also going to have access to bi-weekly motivational posts. And then you're also going to be able to have use of the digital platform, which is you're going to be allowed to log your shooting time. You're going to be able to log your scores of your practice and tournament rounds, store your equipment setup. So the silver level is really where you're able to finally store your personal setup stuff. And then you're going to be able to submit questions to me and the Nock On community, and then it'll also track your answers. So again, 20% of my podcast questions or Q&As are going to come from the gold or from the silver membership. So there's an algorithm built in to where 20% of you are going to be able to feed into me, and I'm going to be able to I'm going to be able to tell you or answer. I'll be able to answer right there, and you can also select who sees those different things. You're also going to have access to that shot of the week. You're going to have access to a new program that I called that's called Homework, School of Nock Homework. That's actually not the official name, but we need to come up with a name for it. And what this is, these are actually little videos that I'll be filming bi-weekly that will give you specific little training regimens of here's how many arrows we're going to shoot, here's what we are going to shoot. We're going to start to make this fun. I'm probably going to start making some custom targets, make them available for affordable to you guys to where we can practice on certain targets, or I'll just give you measurements in case you want to actually go out and cut your own stickers out or something like that for practice. And here's what's really cool is at that silver level, once phase 2 of this website goes active, which won't be at the initial launch, you're actually going to be able to have the ability to log your you're going to be able to compete against other members of the Nock On community within that that digital platform. So you'll be able to put up a round, and you'll be able to share scores with other members on certain things that we're going to do. And our homework, like the very first one I filmed for you guys is something that I call the block challenge, and I'm going to save that for you guys to see. But the block challenge will be 2 weeks of homework. So all you need is your block target, and I've got a little round. It's a little 30 arrow round that we're going to do every single day, and really that's your homework. And then why I'm doing it bi-weekly is because, remember, I'm doing bi-weekly fitness as well. So you're going to have some workout things, and then you're going to have, which will hit 1 week. You've got 2 weeks to make sure you're incorporating that into your system. And then you're going to have 2 weeks of just fun rounds to shoot, to where things are staying fresh and we're able to continually be motivated in our workouts. But the silver level is going to be $4.99 a month if you do the auto renewal, or the reoccurring auto renewal. So it'd be right at about $50 a year. If you it's $4.99 if you do each month, and it just charges each month, and that's it. But if you want to sign up for a full year and commit to the year right up front, it's $50. So we've kind of planned it to where you get two months free if you do the upgrade. So $50 a year, you'll have access to everything that I just said. Now, gold members actually is kind of they have a pretty good jump here. There's really the gold and the platinum members are going to be the ones that really have the most access to me, but also the ability to win a one-on-one experience with me, which is important because platinum and gold members automatically go into a drawing for quarterly. I'm going to pick quarterly winners from these pools that are going to be able to either come to the Nock On Academy for a full day. Travel's not included, but you'll have the invite to be here, or you'll be able to come on a hunt with me if I choose. There may be a time where I decide to just take someone on a hunt with me. Say, hey, do you want to come here, or do you want to go on a hunt? I'm going to be going to this hunt. I'll pay for your hunt. You just need to get there. There may be some times like that. Depending on the hunt, what I may do is just say, you can come on this hunt. Obviously, it's a hunt of a higher price, so I can't really pay for every single hunt, but there may just be ones where you get a personal invite to be in my camp, which would be cool. Or the last one that you could possibly win is one that I'm calling Buds with Duds, and that's going to be an experience where me and Sharon may pack up the family truckster and just come to you and hang out with you for a full day of your choosing. So if you're wanting me to come down and give you lessons at your place, or if you have something cool down there you want to do, you want to go bow fishing with me for a day, and we'll do a live event or whatever, but we're going to make that decision. Also, 70% of the podcast questions are going to be drawn from the platinum and the gold members, 70%. And we're also going to have a gold video podcast, minimum of one per month. The gold podcast is actually going to be a podcast that I do specifically to the gold and platinum members, and that's going to be your questions only. And I'll do a video podcast in my chalk room, so in there where I've got all the chalkboards and got my bows, and I'll be able to answer questions and show you in your own private video podcasts, and only you guys are going to be able to open those podcasts and see them. You're also going to have the ability to for shooting video submissions. So this is really important because on your profiles you're going to be able to actually put pictures of yourself shooting. And once you get that gold membership, you're going to get to see this little video that I did with James. And in that video, I show you specifically the photos that I need to be able to do an analysis of you, and then also 3 videos that I want. I show you how to do them, the angles, and on my personal page, you're going to be able to see exactly how that is, because I'm going to be a platinum. I'm my first platinum member. So actually probably Justin's my first platinum member because he can create his full profile before mine. But I'm going to be a platinum member, so you'll be able to go in there and see that. And I can also select who I want to see that. I'm going to open it up to everybody. You could select a button that says just Dud. You could select a button that says just my friends. and you'll be able to select who your friends are, no different than Instagram. This is really, really cool. Um, you're also going to have and if those are on there, that doesn't mean that I'm going to review them. It means I can see them, I can review them. There's going to be situations where during video podcasts, if I select your question for that gold member podcast, I want to be able, if I'm doing this video podcast, I may pull your profile up right on my big screen, and just like the one we had in the live feed, I'll be able to pull that up and I'll be able to say, okay, you're asking me this question about why you always hit to the left. Well, I kind of went in before the podcast, I looked at your pictures a little bit, and here's the problem that I see, and this right here is an identifier of so and so. I'll be able to troubleshoot for you, but you're going to want those pictures in there. You will also have one of the upper priorities too when I decide that I'm going to do my video coaching, which is going to be an option now. When I do my video coaching, or if I open the school up for people to actually come here if my time permits, what will happen is platinum members will have first access to that calendar. So if I say I'm available 5 days in this month, when the platinum members will have one full day to book what they want, and if whatever they don't book, gold members are going to get that notification. Dud has coaching time available, and you're going to be able to jump in there and take that. You're also going to have early access to product releases. So, if I've got something like a new beanie that we're considering doing, I'm gonna either have a video or pictures and say, what do you guys think of this? I want your input. So you're going to be able to have input on products, and then you're actually going to have access to, depending on my time, again, to this a la carte. And the a la carte is either going to be coaching or personal bow builds. There may be times where I know that I'm home for 3 weeks, the weather's nice. I may just say, okay, I'm going to do personal bow builds. Here's the cost, here's my cost, but I am available to do it. And you can decide whether or not you want to sign up for that. Let's see, the other thing is you're also going to have the ability to log your shooting time, log your scores. You'll be able to store your equipment setups, access to a reporting suite. So you're going to be able to have reports that you can actually make that'll, like, for example, analyze your best equipment setup, because you're going to be able to log in what your bow is like, or what rounds you shot, maybe what the conditions were. You'll be able to log in what setup you took to that location, and then you're going to be able to remember right off the go, hey, this particular bow actually shot better than that particular bow. So, it's a really, really cool thing. You're going to have access to the training regimens, access to those shots of the week, the weekly homework. You're going to have that ability to compete against each other. But gold members, you're going to have access to the Defeat the Dud competition. So I'm actually going to jump in. The gold members are going to be the first ones that are going to be able to see me shoot these practice homework rounds, and you're going to be able to see what my score is, and you're going to be able to have your practice, I'm going to have mine, and you're going to get to open that video to see what my results are, and then know whether or not you defeated the dud. And what we may do is each month, when whoever defeats the dud, they'll get loaded into a random draw, and maybe we'll come up with a cool sticker or something like that, some type of cool little something to where if you're walking around the 3D course with the I defeated the dud logo, then the people know you're legit as shit. So anyway, that the gold level is going to be $14.99 a month if you've got the monthly auto renew set. Otherwise, it's going to be $150 for the year if you're set up for auto renewal each year. The website is also going to be able to have the ability to take credit cards, not using PayPal. Some people freak out for PayPal doing credit cards, even though PayPal is actually directing you off. But anyway, we will be able to do it direct. So then the last level is going to be the platinum level. The platinum level are going to have all the benefits of 1, 2, and 3, but they're also going to have unlimited free shipping and on any orders through the store. So this is going to be really important, especially for those of you who kind of get a new shirt each and every time it comes out. They're also going to have priority access to pre-ordering. So this is a really good benefit too. So if I show you, hey, here's the new mini silverback, they're going to be coming out. Those platinum members are going to get an email saying, hey, if you want to be on the first list for these, here's what we're going to sell them for, here's the product. And, obviously I'll probably do a little video showing my platinum members first, talking with you guys about it. You'll get to see it, maybe about a week or so earlier than the gold people. And then I'll let that feed down to the gold level. But you're going to have access to be able to order that first and foremost on the list. So even if it's something where I'm going to do a limited run, like say I want, the mini silverback is a limited run for that particular release, you'll be able to have one of those first orders. You're also going to have priority access to the Ask Dud Q&A. So if I sit down and answer 100 Q&As, platinums are going to get answered first, golds are going to get answered second. Again, you're already in that pool of 70% of podcast questions are going to come for people that are in that area. Plus, the platinum people are going to have first priority access to my coaching and my coaching reviews or consultations. So I'm planning on doing consultation in 15-minute video Skype consultations. So you'll be able to send me the videos that I need. They should already be on your profile. If you follow the profile video instructions, you should already have them on there, but you'll be able to send me a little message saying, hey, here's what's going on, or you'll be able to send me a message that just says, hey, I'm going to go to my first World Cup in Poland. I'm feeling kind of nervous. I don't really know what to do. I want you to check out my forum, and then also maybe tell me what I should experience, what I need. You're going to be able to have that video consultation. The a la carte stuff, whether it's my bow builds, again, platinum are going to have access to bow builds, completely custom bow builds, or when I post it, I'm going to have coaching here. You'll be able to have access to that first. And yeah, that's going to be it. So that platinum level is just going to be a straight $250 a year with yearly renewal. So, honestly, if you went to, here's how I look at this. If you went to one of my seminars and, if you had your club bring me in for a seminar, most of the clubs or the shops, they cap that at 10 people. And, if you do that and I come and do a seminar for a day, you'd be paying $250 anyway to that dealer. I can hear Justin coming out of his room, so I know I got to get ready to go to the airport, so I'm going to have to shut down here. But anyway, that's kind of how that a la carte's going to work. So you've really got, you've got the ability to pay $50 a year, $150 a year, or $250 a year. And like I said, when it comes to the ability to know, like I know I'm going to go in and I'm going to have some personal response or some personal, whether it's via me talking directly onto your page or you having the ability to book consultation and then me actually giving you some feedback based off your pictures that are in your profile. Even if it's not a web review, you will get some interaction. So like I said, if you go to a seminar where I'm at and your shop owner puts 10 people in there, you would be paying that anyway. So I really put the prices where I felt like we were going to have the ability to run a great site and be able to maintain that financially, but also have the ability to get you guys access to me. So I'm going to go ahead and I got to log off right quick on this particular podcast. I'm going to come back after I drop Justin off and answer some of these questions that I got for you guys. So hang tight. See you everyone on Instagram. Appreciate you guys. I gotta go. You guys are awesome. See you later.